Alright, you guys. I'm in the Bronx. Okay? I was going to the lady to get my hair straight. You know what? I guess tomorrow. We'll see what tomorrow brings. I'm supposed to do it tomorrow. So I'm going to text her and tell her I'm going to be here early. I'll start making my way here about 9 o'clock. And hopefully I get here. She didn't give me my shot. Oh, yes, she did. Look, I want me some olives. I know I eat weird. I eat very weird. I'm gonna buy me a bottle of olives. I bought me a Passion sandwich. It's supposed to be pepper jack, lightly toasted, lettuce, tomatoes. I don't know where the onions and stuff. He put the onions or tea. They would have did it in my store out here. They were supposed to put the onions, garlic, not garlic. I would like garlic in it, but onions, what is it? Onions, tomatoes, lettuce. No, the onions, tomato, not even tomatoes. Tomatoes cold. So the onions, the green peppers, the red peppers. Is that it? And they supposed to put it on the stove and whatever, saute it or whatever. And then put the meat on it. And chop all that up in together. I know how I want it. But it don't look bad. Tastes alright. So, I'm hot. So I'm gonna have to put, I'm on here hot. What is that? Maybe he did put green peppers in here. Something on here hot. Oh, you know what it is? The pepper jack. So, I put it on white bread. It's a roll. So maybe I'll put some olives on here. Tastes frozen. You know? I like them warm. They could be in the refrigerator. You know, but I prefer to eat them straight out the jar. You know, straight out the jar. But he hooked up this pastrami. So, as I was saying outside about my husband, you know, I pray God, I pray the Lord, ask the Lord not to let me get down. Because not only do I think I'm going to have nobody to take care of me, I wouldn't even have a hard time. Whoever's taking care of me, I have a hard time getting doctors out here. Did I go out like this? No, I didn't. No, I loosed it because I was going to go to the bathroom, which I never went. There was a young lady that I was seeing when I first moved here. The young lady, I didn't know she lived in my building. I didn't know she was married to a young man that I saw around here a whole lot. But once they broke up, what's the FaceTime notification? Okay, so I gotta check my food. Let me see what put them up to multivitamins. Dang, I'm way behind. Just got the, no, she didn't say she just, oh, I must be late because I had the phone off. Well, I left my glasses out. I'm here. She said, just got to BK. I'm like, I know you on your way. Let me get my pill. So anyway, there was this girl, right? When I first moved here, she was all right. When I say she was all right, it means that she looked okay. She looked kind of healthy, you know, and everything. And, you know, just like I said, I didn't know that she's married to somebody that I saw quite often, a young man that was so quite often. But then, after a while, over time, I start noticing her not so much as coming out of this building that I'm in, but out the next building, because there's two buildings that's owned by the same landlord that's like together. They same numbers, like 88, 89, right? So, dang, I ain't bring no water. I got a soda here, and I got some coffee. So, I got my phone leaning up against my soda. So, we gonna put the coffee over here, bring the soda over a little bit. Because you can make some fat man to heat up that coffee drink. Okay? Can't be wasting money today, you know? So, I noticed that she would be out there fussing, arguing with, you know, different people, you know, and stuff like that. And I'd be like, wow, what happened to her? And then somebody told me, said, oh, she's strung out. She's strung out like that, right? And I was like, oh my goodness. I started noticing that she started looking kind of different. And she started, like, having conversation with self conversations and stuff like that. And she would be arguing. Sometimes she'd be arguing with somebody. And I'd be like, is she talking to me? You know? So I had to try to kind of give you a little background of what I'm about to say. So today I come in the building and they got a obituary flyer out about her funeral. I didn't pay attention to when she died, but her funeral is the 25th. I gotta look back on the time. I'm surprised none of my kids told me. Wow. I ain't surprised. I'm gonna take that back. But, yeah, somebody was telling me that she lived in this building and they found her dead in her apartment. Somebody killed her. And they said that the gnats and the flies was all over her. So I was like, oh my goodness, so she must be was I didn't use the unalive word. The other word, the synonym. But I was like, so she must was like that for a while. And they said she was like that for 3 days. 3 days. My heart just went out to her. I felt her pain. She was going through a lot of pain before she left here. Lord have mercy. I got girls. I got 2 girls. I got 2 girl grands. And the rest of my grands is boys. So I taught, and I'm going to talk again to them. Because I be talking to my boy grandchildren. My grand boys. I was just telling them a few days ago, I said, I want y'all to grow up, and I want y'all to be good men. I want y'all to find y'all a wife that God is pleased with and y'all happy with. If God is pleased with him, you gonna be happy. I said, I want you to treat them right. All this fussing and arguing, I said, get you a good woman. Don't get no woman that's going to be laying up on you. You out there working for her. And she doing whatever she want to do. See, I could say that because I don't do that. Never did lie up on no guy. Never just sit back and wait for no guy. Now, one thing I can... Let me make this a little darker. I'm sorry. I gotta even it out, right? One thing I'll say is that it was kind of hard for me. Oops. I opened up this hole so I could take my pill. And this is my multivitamin. That's why I be hungry but not hungry. But sometimes I get real hungry where I feel it and I know I gotta eat. But telling them, don't y'all get no sorry woman. And I don't want y'all to be no sorry men. I don't let them sit in my house and don't do nothing. Yeah, they can play the game whatever time. I tell them y'all gonna get it from here. Y'all gonna know how to clean. Y'all gonna know how to cook. Y'all get a beard, you're gonna know how to shave yourself. I'm not gonna say that all the men that I was with, which wasn't a lot, but I'm gonna use the term all, but not in the perspective of a lot. All the men was laid back, no good men, because they weren't. They weren't. I mean, I don't want to even get into the concept of my husband, because I think we done told that story over and over again, how he was. But he wasn't a working man. He didn't like to work. But I only had one child outside my marriage with another man, and that man worked. And I told y'all the story about the man that died, that got shot in the head and died. He was working. He actually had his own company. Him and his brothers owned their own auto shop, and people went to them, and they made money. He went to work every single day. If I didn't want him to go to work, he didn't go to work. Hey, I'll be honest with you. Be like, baby, I want you to stay home. All right, I'm staying home. You got it. Excuse me. He go to work. He make his money. And he called me to the job and tell me to come to the job. And I go to the job. Not that I want to, but he be begging, come on. And I go to the job. And when I go to the job, he get his pay. And he take out $20 and he give me the rest. Every time he would come home from work, he knew I smoke and drink. He would come home with 2 packs of cigarettes. He knew I smoke 100. He knew I smoke Newport's 100. Newport's 100. Newport's 100. He came in there with Newport 100, 2 packs, if not a carton. If I say I want a carton, he come with a carton. Now, if he come with 1 pack, say I ain't know whether you want a carton or not. If you want a carton, I go out and get it. If I say I want a carton, he get right up. I just got to throw this in there just to make my point. If we lying in the bed and I be like, I'm hungry, he said, come on, let's go to the store. Or you want me to go to the store? And I'll be like, I'm coming with you. Let's go together. And we go 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, because, you know, that was in Queens, Jamaica, Queens. At that time, stores, it was bodegas then. It was no delis. Bodegas, and they stay open. Sometimes, if not 24/7, they stayed open at least till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then they be closed and open back up at 7. So I didn't have no deadbeat dads, and I didn't have no deadbeat men, right? And there was this one man that I don't even know how I met this dude. Now I'm thinking about it. He was not even a member, to put it down, be honest with you. He wasn't a member, and I'm going to tell you why he wasn't a member in a minute. Excuse me. But he wasn't a member. He isn't a member because I can't remember where I met him at. But I met him somewhere. Somehow. Someplace. But he was a worker. He worked. But if I had a knew better, I would have knew that I don't want to, no, he wasn't a pimp. I'm going to say he was a pimp. I ain't going to say that. Because what does that make me, right? But I'm just going to tell this because this is my channel and this is my life, right? I met him and there was this dress. So that means I had to meet him at the club. Okay. I wore this at the club one day. It was this dress I wore, right, at the club. It had, I don't even know why I had that dress on, or why I had it in my possession. But anyway, back then, you young, dumb, and full of nothing. So, the dress it had ruffles around the neck, and it was gold, right? The top part of the ruffles. And it was that type of, all around my neck. That was gold, and it was skin tight material, maybe knit material that hugged me. And even though I never really got big, people want to call me skinny or whatever, but even in that perspective of being skinny, I guess I still had curves, and put it that way, that men was interested in, right? So this dress allowed me to, it showed off what I had, So we was going, he made a date for us. He was coming to pick me up. He had a nice car, everything. He was coming to pick me up, and he asked me to put on that dress. Now, mind you, that dress was very dressy. But when I met up with him, he had on a pair of sneakers and a sweatsuit on. What does that tell you? I was young and dumb back then, Even though I was in my early 20s. This is after Danielle, so no, I was in my 30s. So I still wasn't. So that's why when I tell certain people that I don't know stuff, they don't really be believing me, but it's the truth. I don't know. I was very naive because I didn't raise up around that type of atmosphere. I raised up in the church. The only atmosphere I was around was in the church. The only people that I saw was church folks. So I didn't know all about this scamming and all about this, all this stuff. So I was just getting out there. So to me, that seemed like the guy cared for me. And even in that perspective, I was very submissive. We hadn't slept together. We hadn't did anything together. But I felt like I belonged to him because he showed some. Let me tell you something. Women, stand up for your dignity. Okay, so we went out and we went to some restaurant, right? And I walk in the restaurant and everybody's looking at me because the dress I got on is so noticeable. And here's the thing, men is not crazy. Because when I walked in the store, it was a diner. So when I walked in the diner, even the man that was behind the counter, I guess kind of like understood what type of man he was and what type of woman I was. But the thing is that the guy showed much respect for me. He was like, it was somewhere that he always went, and he was like, yeah, this is my girl, stuff like that. And, I don't know. He could have brought some other girls in there and said the same thing, but, I know. So anyway, he taught me one thing, and that will always be a memory to me. I was supposed to meet up with him again another time. And we had a time, and and this was in the Bronx, and I had to take like the 1 or the 2 train all the way to some White Plains Road or something like that. It was way out. And once I got off the train, it had like 3 or 4 intersections and stuff like that. It was real big. It overwhelmed me because I never was out in the Bronx. So I lived in Queens, and I had to come out to the Bronx because he worked in the Bronx, right? Or something like that. So I was late. I was like an hour and a half late. And he was waiting for me. And when I got in the car, he bawled me out. He bawled me out. You know what? I couldn't even get mad. And I tell you no lie. I'm a very submissive. And I'm not saying it because I'm talking about myself. I'm telling y'all that's my character. I was very submissive. I didn't have no argumental. I respected his authority. And he was talking to me. I'm not going to say like a child, but he was talking to me to teach me. You don't let nobody come into your time. Because at that time, my children wasn't with me. They was in the system. And the lady made an appointment to come and see me at the last minute. And he was telling me that I should have never did that. And I passed that same advice to my daughter. He told me, he said, you don't let them control you like that. He said, them your kids. You going to get them back. Whether you do what you tell them to do or not, whether you do what they tell you to do or not, they going to give you your kids because they don't have the right to take them because you still alive and you ain't did nothing. You ain't got no criminal case against you. So they just use that to patronize and to manipulate these young women. This is what he was telling me. He said, so what you was supposed to do when they walked in your house, first of all, you shouldn't have let them walk in your house. But okay, once they walked in the house and they tell you, all right, we're going to do this and we got to do that and da-da-da. Say, no, I got something to do. You say, you tell them I got to go meet my man. That would have shut them up because now you got somebody in your life and they can't walk over you. You should have told them, I got to go meet my man. My man waiting for me. I got to go. And I was trying to explain and say this and that, and he called it excuses. He said, no. He said, don't be telling me no excuses. I don't want to hear no excuses, Sharon. He said, we had an appointment at 4 o'clock, and you got here at 6. And luckily, I'm the man that I am because I would have drove off, and you would have came out here, and you would have never saw me, and that would have been the end of my relationship. He said, you the only one I let do that to me. I don't do that. I would have been gone. He said, but I got high respect for you because you seem like a very respectable young lady. I can tell that you got good upbringing, and it's time for you to get you a good man. And I'm here for you. I mean, he's saying, of course, our relationship didn't go nowhere. And it wasn't because of that. Another time, see, he was real good for me. He was real good for me because we never sex. I'm going to tell you honestly. I mean, it's none of y'all business, but I'm going to tell y'all anyway. I mean, I'm going to tell y'all because y'all my subscribers. So we never sex. We never did anything. And we let me see, what was I gonna say? Hang on. Let me get my thought together. My daughter got sick. I think it was Danielle or Mary, one of them. They had gotten sick. And I had to call an ambulance. I can't remember what happened, whether she had a fever, got a cold or something, but it scared me. So I called an ambulance. The ambulance took her to some hospital. I don't even know where the hospital. I couldn't even tell you the name of the hospital. And being that I was taken there, right, I didn't have no money. That was the deal. I didn't have no money to take her to the doctor, right? So they, I don't know what it was. I think it was because I had some kind of worker that would come out to my house. So I think she had came and she saw her. And she wouldn't leave until I called the ambulance. So I called the ambulance. She waited with me with the ambulance. And then she when I got in the ambulance, that's when she went her separate ways. Because she said, I can't leave Miss Jordan until I know that the child is on her way to the hospital. So now, even though I told her, I said, I ain't got no money to take her to my hospital, and I ain't got no money to get home. And she was saying, back then, they had something with the hip. If you get the doctor, get a slip, there was some kind of slip the doctor will fill out, and you take it to the front desk, and they'll give you coffee to get home. But that was a hospital. I mean, it could be done in the hospital, but it was after hours. So that person that would do such a thing, I got the slip, but with no place to get the money from. So now I got my child with me, and I'm trying to figure out how am I going to get my child home. She ain't got no Pampers or nothing, right? This had to be Danielle. Had to be the one that's doing all the work now. Hey, that charger pulled a lot of juice, man. It's only on 2. It's blinking 3. Lord have mercy. So, I stayed there for about an hour trying to figure out what to do, holding my child. I did not want to call him, even though he had already told me, I'm your man, you my woman, all this other stuff. I didn't know man and woman. You know, that is the growing up relationship words. That's your man? Yeah, that's my woman. No girlfriend, no boyfriend. But that's the mind span I was in. I was in boyfriend, and I was his girlfriend. But he was calling me his woman, and he was my man, and all this stuff, right? And so I didn't call him. Oh, he called me. Yeah, he called me. Actually, he called me a couple of times, but I wouldn't answer. Because every time we would talk, he would always ask me what I was doing, how I was doing, everything all right. And he would always ask me, did I need anything? And I would always tell him no. Sometimes I would need Pampers, I wanted some cigarette. He didn't want me to smoke, so I could never tell him I needed a cigarette. If and when he would give me money, that's when I would buy my cigarette. He didn't smoke and he didn't drink. And he let me know right off the back, I don't want you smoking, I don't want you drinking. He said, because I'm not going to support your habit. He was right down to earth. He just told me like it was. I'm not supporting your habit. Now, you go ahead and do it, that's your business. But if it take you to another level, we through. I'm getting notifications. You'll see me looking. Did I take a pill while I was sitting here, you guys? I guess I must have did, because I don't see it. I must have did, right? Because I ain't put it back in here. So now, yeah, I did. Let me put it on one of these phones. You gotta remember, because I remember holding it in my mouth. So let me just, in 1 second, let me put it in here that I took that pill. Because otherwise I'll take it too quick, too soon. And that won't be too good. So I'm going to put it that I took it right now. Excuse me. I don't know what time I took the blood pressure. I took the blood pressure. I don't know what I did take it. But anyway, okay, so we get to, dang, this is already the 76, man. These spare boys be going down. So he calls me and finally I answer. Don't I answer the phone. He said, "You all right?" I said, "Yeah, I'm fine." He said, "Because I was calling you for a while, but you..." I said, "Oh, really?" You know, I know there was a hint of jealousy in his voice, so. I used to be petro. Because I think back then, boys was killing their boyfriends and all this stuff. I was petro. So, I heard it in his voice like he didn't trust me. Like maybe I was seeing another guy. So I had to clarify that, so I had to tell him. I said, "Well, I'm at the hospital." He said, "What's wrong?" He said, "What you doing at the hospital?" I said, "No, I'm here. I'm here with my child." "Who, the baby?" "Yeah." "Okay. How long you was there?" I said, "Actually, I'm done." He said, "Oh, okay." He said, "So what time you gonna be home?" He said, "Because I want to come visit you." I said, "I ain't got no way of getting home." He said, "What?" He said, wait. How long you been there?" So I told him. So he said, when he had asked me that question before, I told him that I was there since whatever time. So he said, and he had asked me when was I finished. So I told him. I said, "Well, I've been finished for about an hour or so." So when we talked for a little bit, and then when I told him that, you know, I had no way of getting home, he said, "So you was sitting in the hospital for an hour because you ain't had no place to go? I mean, no way of getting home?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "And you ain't think to call me?" I'm saying it like that because that's the tone. Excuse me, that's the thought pattern he was in, but I couldn't say it in the tone or how it was, but I don't remember. But he was like, "So you couldn't call me?" I said, "I didn't want to call you." "What you mean you didn't want to call me?" I said, "Because I didn't want to worry you or bother you." He said, "What you mean bother me?" I mean, everything I say. He was like, "What you mean?" He made me explain everything. And then I was like, "You know, I just don't, I didn't want to do all that."